Uh, I help Nebraska Game and Parks. They've got a lot of women in the outdoor events and different things like that. And so we're teaching a lot of ladies how to shoot. Some of them never shot a bow before. So we're
Right.
teaching them. Now, we don't teach them a closed stance because it's too hard to get that grip right. And so we teach an open stance to them just because safety reasons. Um, and I'll just tell them, okay, I keep a completely closed stance, but if you don't put that arm right, you will hit your arm. So we're going to teach an open stance. You just slide that front foot back just a little bit, and we'll go through that and teach them. And some of we've had some time where they're catching on pretty good and using a release, and I'll show them that. And um, one one time was out there, they buy the cheap releases, the low end releases. They don't put any kind of money into the releases because they're banged around and they can get lost and stuff like that. So you're not going to spend a
Right.
lot of money on a release. And I'm trying to get um, this one lady to get on there and do that poem. But that release was so bad, the trigger travel was so far that
Oh,
you could not use the proper technique. So we had to just, okay, we're going to modify this and shoot. I was talking to somebody on one of my podcasts, either one or two before, where he knew a guy that he was a sniper for a long time, squeeze and trigger. And he teaches that squeeze and that trigger because that's what he's done for I don't know how many years, but probably a couple decades anyway. Because when you're shooting a precision rifle, like the snipers is precision shooting, and you're going to be in there like we talked about earlier. Well, you're going to put a slight pressure in that trigger until it goes. You're not going to pull on the trigger. It's a slight pressure, a little pressure until it's going to go off. And you're doing the same thing. But you can do that with a rifle because your fine motor skill is only needed for your trigger because everything else is kind of locked in place. You don't have to do all this aiming because the rifle's either using a sling. When I was on the rifle team in high school, we added slings. So it was kind of pretty much there. The body was all there. You breathe in and out, nothing's moving. So the only thing you have is your trigger pull. And,
right.
you know, we had in high school, we had to have at least a 1 pound trigger pull. Most of them were like 2 or 3 pound trigger pull, which is very light. And they would actually test them. We had a 1 pound weight and it hang on the trigger. And if it wouldn't support that 1 pound weight, they had to adjust it up till it would. Because the lighter sugar, you just kind of just touch it and it goes off. Well, that's not safe because you just close the
No,
bolt,
it's
jar
not.
it, and make it go off. So that's the way that one guy taught it was like he's used to shoot for a long, long time.